If you're looking for your next read, you have landed on the perfect video, because in today's video I'm going to be recommending books from the fiction genre, non-fiction genre, thrillers, fantasy, romance, you name it, it's there in this video. So I'm pretty sure you'll get at least one book recommendation out of it. Let's get into it. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing very nice. I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Hi, if you're new, welcome to the channel. I really hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, consider subscribing. When you subscribe to this channel, you're subscribing to joy and good vibes and bookish chats and catching up over coffee. So if you need new besties who you can discuss books with and also catch up over coffee with in my weekly vlogs, hit subscribe. The agenda for today's video, crystal clear. I'm going to be talking about a few books that I have read in the past couple of months, a few weeks. I'm going to share the plot, my thoughts and my rating, and then you can choose whether you want to pick it up or not. We are starting with the non-fiction book of this video because there's only one, and if you guys have been watching my videos since some time now, you know that I have sort of given up on self-help non-fiction books. Most of the times I am rereading, and even if I'm not rereading, it will be of like very specific genre. But this one book has blown me away and I'm not even done with it, and I am still including it in this video and recommending it to you if you want a new non-fiction book to read, because it has blown me away that much. It has hit the perfect spots for me. It is giving me exactly what I need to know right now. If you guys want to know how the universe made me buy this book, you can go and check out the short. But yes, the universe guided me to read this book, and the universe was right. The book I'm talking about is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. This book is laid on the foundation that your self-image, the way you perceive yourself, your self-concept is what is showing on the outside when it comes to the positive and the negatives in your life. For example, if you have a firm belief that you deserve happiness and success in your life, you will be able to achieve that happiness and success in your life. If you feel like you are a failure and you are meant for sorrow, you will very successfully achieve that failure and that sorrow in your life, because it is all about how you see yourself. And let me tell you, this is not a new concept. I've read about this before. The entire law of attraction and manifestation is based on how your world on the inside manifests your world on the outside. So it's nothing new, but it's the way in which it's written. It talks about how we have the creative success mechanism set in our subconscious mind, which is wired to gain success. So if you give it the target to be happy, it will achieve success by giving you happiness. And if you give it the target to be a failure and sorrowful, it will achieve success by making you a failure and making you sorrowful. This is so surface level. I am not describing it properly. If you want a lengthy video as to how this book has affected me, you can watch this video. It's available for members. I'll put the link in the description. I cannot explain just how good this book has been for me in terms of changing my own self-image and giving me an insane amount of self-confidence and bringing me out of ruts that I have been in for like past months and years. It has had instant effects in my life. The lessons are very powerful, and as I said, I'm not even done with the book yet, but it has already changed my life so much. I had to let you guys know to check it out. If you want to work on your self-confidence, your self-image, and you have read books on manifestation but they have not quite hit, and you need something more practical, more logical, then this will be the perfect book for you. It's a complete 5-6 star read for me already. Moving on to the fiction recommendations. Number 1, we have The Crash by Freida McFadden, which is the story of the crash, and that's all I'm going to tell you. Our main character gets into an accident, and she does have a backstory going on. She has some issues in her life, but there is this crash that happens that changes her life. I read Freida McFadden books when I want binge-worthy books that are very dramatic and have good plot twists in the end or even during the book, which is why I picked up this book. This book was also a book of the month for the month of June for the Anshul Rani Book Club. If you want to subscribe, link in the description. So I read it. I also vlogged my reaction to it, and while I did enjoy the drama part of this book, and I really enjoyed the main character in the book because she was like crazy, and also there were multiple perspectives, so I enjoyed that also. It was insanely predictable for me. Thriller is written in a way that it is building up to the plot twist in the end, so sometimes it can get repetitive, but if it is unpredictable, then it is building up very well. When it is predictable, it becomes repetitive, and that's exactly what happened with this book. I knew every single thing that is going to happen towards the end, which is why I knew every single thing that is going to happen as I am reading the book. So till 30 to 40% of the book, I was enjoying it a lot, but I think at 30% I guessed exactly what's going to happen, and after that I was just bored. I was so bored because it was so repetitive. I am like a pro thriller reader. That may be the reason why I was able to predict the ending for myself, because when you read so many thriller books, you sort of know where the book is going to go a lot of times. So if you have never read thriller books before and you want to start with Freida McFadden, I think you will enjoy this book a lot. However, if you are an avid thriller reader, then it's not that fun. My final rating for the book is around 2.5 stars, and it is an adult thriller, so if you're a teenager, don't get into it. Along with that, it's also available on Kindle Unlimited, so you can check it out there. Talking about Kindle Unlimited books, I have the perfect YA romantasy book for you, and it is one of the best books that I've ever read. It's got a great ambience, it's got great fantasy setups. As you read it, there's not much information and it doesn't bore you with the build-up of the fantasy world, and yet somehow it's so ambient, you know where you are. And number 4, I have read this book at night, and I highly recommend you read it at night too, when you're done with your entire day and you want to cozy up and just wind down. Number 5, it's quite short, so it doesn't even take a lot of your time, and I love it when fantasy books are also short, because a lot of times I want to read fantasy books but I am not in the mood to commit to like 1000 pages. I'm in that space. Books like these are very helpful, and that's exactly what this book was like. However, I will say I was a little sad to know that the book was so short, because I was just enjoying it so much. And there is another book to come in this series, which I hope comes out soon, because I cannot wait to read it. The book I'm talking about is The Fair Kind by Randolph Kooser, and this is a story of our 17-year-old Jane, who is about to manifest and master her powers to be a part of the fair kind. Only the book starts with how her fortune-telling mother dies. When she is not able to master the powers that she needs to in order to be part of the fair kind, she escapes into the human world in order to be accepted. That is where the adventure and the romance part of the book comes in. Oh my god, it was so good. If you're looking for something cozy, adorable, coming of age, vulnerable, tender, then this is the perfect book, along with like adventure and mystery also, because she escapes into the human world. It's just a good package of a story. Talking about young adult and fantasy, I read the Shatter Me series. I read 5 books, the first 5 books in the Shatter Me series, which means I read the original trilogy, because that is what I thought I need to read in order to get closure for the story, with 2 novellas in the middle. And you did not necessarily even have to read the novellas if you did not want to. You could just read the 3 books. However, I wanted to read the novellas, so I read the first 5 books. There is so much to tell you. Let me start from the start. Number 1, the plot of the book is Juliet, yet another, I think 17-year-old, is in prison since 200 something days, and nobody is touching her, nobody is getting her out. And the reason she's even in the prison is because her touch is lethal. If you touch her, you will die, except something happens because of which she's brought out of the jail. That's when she meets Aaron Warner. That leads me to number 2. It is filled with romance. That's what I think about when I think about Aaron Warner. And if you need something extremely simple plot wise, but you want a lot of thrill and a lot of drama that will literally hook you up, it's like reality TV but also serious, and you want the best kind of villain gets the girl romance plot, this is your series. I'm obsessed with Aaron Warner. In the beginning, I did not enjoy Juliet's character that much, but as I moved forward, I was obsessed with Juliet and everything that she goes through, especially her character arc. It was actually personally inspiring too. So many other characters that I love and so many other characters that I hate. There's so much happening. At the end of the day, it is a story of Juliet rising to the power. It is a story of throwing off the re-establishment. It's quite common. Like, if you read a lot of fantasy, this is like not for you. But if you are looking to just read something to completely escape and you want some good romance, especially if you are a beginner, you have to read this. And it's a YA dystopian series, so you can read it even if you were a teenager, though there are some scenes that are not teenage friendly, but it's not very graphic and it's sort of like fade to black. I do have a non-spoiler reading vlog for the series. We'll link it in the description for you to check out, and if you want a spoiler reading vlog, we'll link the membership link in the description. You can subscribe to watch that too, because I put that up only for members. However, I have to say it's not exactly a 5 or 6 star series for me, for 2 reasons. Number 1, I read all of the 5 books it has nowhere near ended right now, so I don't think that I can judge this entire series and give it 5 star, 6 star or whatever on the basis of books which are not even like the ending of the book. So if you're wondering whether you only need to read these 3 books or you need to read all the other 9-10 books, I think you will have to read all of the other 9-10 books. Number 2, I think that there were a lot of things that were just like rushed a lot. Wish we went deeper into them because these characters were really good. They were really good. Yet again, I think that my opinion will change once I read the books ahead in the series, but for now I'm giving it 3.75 stars. And one of the biggest reasons I'm giving it this is like Aaron Warner. I'm obsessed with Aaron Warner. I think about him every day. Randomly out of nowhere I'll be like, oh my god, I miss Aaron Warner. I wish he was real. He is the character that I'm obsessed with. I don't know how to explain more just how much I love him. I love him. The guy works out, the guy has coffee, the guy reads, and he's just so good. Okay, I need to stop. He's just really good. Next up, we have Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, which is a book I read on my birthday. My birthday was smack dab in the middle of the week, and so I celebrated it with my friends and family during the weekends. On my birthday, I spent the day reading and I read this book because I thought that I'm gonna get an iconic book like the Magnolia Park series, because Jessa Hastings is also the author of the Magnolia Park series. However, I did not exactly get that. Conditions of Will is the story of this very, very dysfunctional family, a very rich and dysfunctional family, and we follow their story through the eyes of one of the daughters, one of the siblings, who has done a course in reading your facial expressions and understanding things that you don't want to say. So for example, like if you are lying, she will know because she reads the micro expressions that we don't read in general. When this dysfunctional family has had to come together because of something unfortunate, through this ability she unearths a lot of things, and we just see the journey of this family. That's it. That's what it is. There is a subplot of romance too, which is very powerful. I get it, but not as powerful as the Magnolia Park series. Overall, the writing also was good, but just not as good as the Magnolia Park series. Had the toxicity, but just not as much as Magnolia Park. So it was a little lukewarm for me. It was all good, but it was a little lukewarm for me. I wish it was more intense in some way. It was more intense in the writing, the romance, the dysfunctionality of the family. There are things discussed in the book that I have just like not gone through, so there was no relatability factor for me. I think that if you have been in that situation, if you've had dysfunctional families, there are so many other things that the main character goes through. If you've gone through them, you will connect to the characters very well, and then Jessa Hastings' writing is like a cherry on top. So it can be a good book to read. So basically, if you're looking for a story of a toxic, dysfunctional family, this is the way to go, and I am giving it 3.5 stars. Next is a romance. It's become one of the best things that I have ever read in my whole life. I just love it and I'm obsessed with it, and I cried my eyes out when I was reading this book. Within 40 pages, I knew it's going to be like a 6 star. Within 40 pages, it made me cry. It's just so good, and it's a romance novel, and it brought my love back for romance novels. I've been reading romance novels and I've not been connecting with the characters. I've not been connecting with the plot. There's way too much spice for me to read, and I love spicy books. I love them, but that can't be the point of the romance. That cannot be the point of the story, and I've just been like so off of the romance genre. But then I read this, and it brought my faith back into the romance genre. And the book I'm talking about is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. You guys, hands down, I love you guys for forcing me a little bit to read this book, because you guys have told me to read this and that I will love it. I was going to skip out on it thinking that it's a popular romance book. I'm not going to get into that. You know, I'm not going to read popular romances a lot. So many times it's the same thing over and over and over again. Not to discredit authors, not to discredit writing, because I know it's extremely hard to do. I get all of that, but for my personal enjoyment, I'm just not getting the fulfillment. And so I was like, I'm not going to read yet another popular romance book. But you guys told me to just put it on my TBR. Please read it once, you will like it. And so I read it, and thank you so much, because I got one of the best romance books out of reading this book. This is the story of these two people who have known each other for like 11 to 14 years. Why don't I remember? That's just horrible. I love this book so much and I forgot the detail. But they used to be best friends and they used to love each other 11 to 14 years back, and then they don't have contact for around 11 years, and then they cross each other's path. It's a friends to lovers romance, and it's so heartwarming, it's so vulnerable, it switches between timelines. So it gave me the adult romance and the YA romance feels, because when we were in the past timeline and they were young, they were like the YA romance feels where they were so adorable and so tender and so vulnerable with each other, and they were so emotional. It was so good. And then when they were adults, barely any miscommunication happening. That's weird because that's part of the reason why they don't talk. It was just so straightforward. It was still very, very emotional. I just connected to the characters so much, and because I knew their history when they were kids, I was able to connect to them so much even as adults. And both of the characters are so relatable. Along with that, they also have families, and even though it's a very romance heavy book, don't get deep into the lives of all of the side characters. They add so much to the book. They are not just there to fill the pages. They're not there just because, oh, you can't only have two people in the book. They mean something in the book, and it's just so good. It's so good. Love in Other Words is one of my most favorite romance novels ever, and I have a reading vlog for it. I'll put it in the description. In the vlog, I've talked about how towards the end of the book, it was a little confusing as to why these people got disconnected in the first place. And I really wish that that was explored more, because I think it is also a very important topic to talk about, but it was a little bit like brushed over. And so I did not give it, I think, 5 stars or 6 stars when I just got done reading the book. However, after all of this time, 6-star read for me. I love it. I cannot wait to like get special editions of it. I cannot wait to reread it and annotate it. I already annotated it, like underlined stuff when I was reading it for the first time. I cannot wait to reread it. I want to reread it every year. I love this book so much. I'm obsessed. And it's an adult romance, but you can read it even if you were a teenager, because there aren't any graphic scenes, like many graphic scenes or inappropriate scenes that you cannot read. So 6-star read romance recommendation. Go ahead, read it. You will not regret it. In that reading vlog, I read yet another book that became one of the best books that I've ever read. I'm telling you, that reading vlog brought my faith back into romance books. I love romance books now, and I cannot wait to read more amazing romance books. Had such an interesting premise too, because this is the story of two people who, every time somebody dates them, when they break up with them, the next people they date, they end up marrying. And this happens with both of these characters, the guy and the girl, and somehow they cross each other's path and they start talking to each other, and they are like, what if we date each other, and so when we break up, then we will also meet our soulmate next. And so they start dating just for the summer. That's what the book is, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Yet again, I was not going to give into the hype of Abby Jimenez, but I did, and I'm so grateful I did. And now these books have also made me feel like I shouldn't be judging books simply because they're popular. Sometimes popular books are popular for a reason, because they're good. They're just so good. And that is what happened with Just Like Summer with me. You get dual POV. The main female character has had real issues, is having real issues in her life that I have also had. She was insanely relatable for me. Instantly, I knew her, I could feel her, I felt like I have talked to her in real life. So it was very, very nice to connect with the main female character. And then you have the main male character. The guy, he sends an invite to her when they're about to go on their first date with a Google form so that she can put in the details that will help him to prepare the best first date. Fictional men. This is why I love fictional men. They are so good. There's a lot of plot, there's a lot of story which did not feel wasted. It did not just feel like a side story while the romance is going on. The romance and the story were going with each other very, very well. And yet again, I think it has no spice in it as far as I remember. Amazing ending, barely any miscommunication. I loved every single part of this book. So if you're looking for another romance book, this is your way to go. A 5-star read. I read the last book in the Powerless Fearless trilogy. I read Fearless. If you want my spoiler thoughts, it's there in that vlog itself, so you can check it out towards the end. Non-spoiler thoughts and my final review for the book, when I think about it, is number one, I was still standing our main two characters, Kai and Payton. Number two, I still genuinely think that Reckless could have been in Fearless. I've seen other people say this also, and I agree with this. Reckless should have been part of Fearless. So much of Fearless should not have been there. It was a waste of space. Number three, this was a good opportunity. Reignite that heat and forbidden love when it comes to Kai and Payton. This was such a good opportunity. If you used that ending to build more yearning and jealousy between these characters, it would have been so good. But no, the book took an entirely different path, and I am not happy with it. And I'm sorry if you enjoyed the book a lot, because I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I get it. When it comes to Kit, I loved his character. However, he did not deserve what he got, but it was one of the best parts of the book because it still haunts me to the day. And the ending of the book, it still brings tears to my eyes when I think about Kai and Payton and just how beautiful it was. But so much of it should have been removed. A lot of it should have been removed. Reckless should have been put in this, and I needed more yearning, because I think the whole amazing part about Powerless was, one, there was so much plot, and two, there was so much yearning. And they still liked each other, but there was so much yearning. And overall, I think I'm going to give this book 3.5 stars, and overall I'm going to give this series, Powerless is still a 6-star book for me. Okay, I've read it 2 times at this point and I'm still obsessed with it, so that is a 6-star book for me. But overall, this series is somewhere around 3.5 to 4 stars. That's my final rating. Book of the month for the month of July, which is One of Us is Lying. It's a series, but I've only read one book, and it's a story of these 5 students who are brought into detention, but one of them dies, and now you figure out how did that character die and who killed him. It is a YA mystery thriller, but as I was reading it, I realized that it's not exactly only a thriller. It is basically the story of these 4 characters, and you also get multiple POVs. You see the life of all of these 4 characters, and you see the secrets that all of these 4 characters have, and then that builds up to who really killed the character who was dead. Overall, I enjoyed every single character. I enjoyed every aspect of this book, and that plot twist in the end, I did not see it coming whatsoever, and that's the kind of mystery thriller I like. And I also think that it was done very smartly. The ending was done so smartly. And along with that, I personally love books that have clues embedded in the story throughout the story. So towards the end, when you come to know what happened, the plot twist, you can see it very clearly in your head, oh, I read about this and I couldn't guess, and oh, I read that clue and I couldn't guess. How could I not have guessed? I love that feeling, and that is the feeling that this book gave me. It's another 5-star book, so if you're looking for a YA mystery thriller, but it's not exactly mystery thriller, there's more to it with a little bit of romance and all, then this is the perfect book for you. Next up, we have a thriller that I have been obsessing over since I finished reading it, and the book is The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. It's such a bizarre story. At least the beginning is so bizarre. It's the story of this guy who's waiting at the airport for his flight, which has been, I think, delayed, and he meets this woman randomly, and they get to talking at the airport bar, except that he tells her how he thinks that his wife is probably cheating on him, and she's like, oh, you should kill her. And first he's like, ha ha ha, whatever, but then they get serious about it and they discuss all the details. What It's so bizarre. How can you do that with a complete stranger? It does not make sense. However, when you read the book ahead, everything makes sense, and the book is not what you think it's going to be. I thought it's going to be only a domestic thriller, and it is a domestic thriller, and if you know me, you know I love domestic thrillers, but it's so much more than that. And I love well-crafted mystery thriller stories with characters you cannot forget, and this is one of those well-crafted books. Wow, I think I gave it 4.5 stars when I read it, but it's going to be a 5-star now. It's so a 5-star. I love this book so much. If you enjoyed Verity and if you enjoyed Gone Girl, this book is a little bit of a mix of Verity and Gone Girl, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I enjoyed it so much. It's a well-crafted story, not for teenagers. It's an adult thriller. There's a lot of mess going on. It's very graphic too, so it's not for teenagers, but adults. If you're looking for a new mystery thriller that will blow you away, like Verity or like Gone Girl, this is your next book. Next up, we have a horror novel, which is Hidden Pictures, which I read in the thriller vlog because I thought it's a thriller novel, but it's a horror novel, and I think it's my fault for not understanding that it's a horror novel. This is the story of a woman who becomes a babysitter to a child, and the child starts drawing pictures, but those pictures mean more than the babysitter is able to grasp in the beginning of her job, and she has her own issues going on, and they somehow cross over with each other. It's a very interactive book because it also includes the pictures in the book that the child is drawing, and I was reading it at night, so the pictures towards the end became haunting. They were like quite scary, and I was getting scared. Okay, like if you're looking for a horror novel, this is a good one, but that's what I'm saying. I got into it thinking it's a thriller novel, and it did not give me the thrill at all. It scared me, but it did not give me the thrill at all. And because I was so misguided, I was not able to connect to the characters. I was not able to connect to the story as well as I would like to have connected with the story and the characters, because if I knew it's a horror novel, I would read it with that mindset and I would expect that. It's completely an error on my part. However, that did affect my reading experience, so I am giving it 3.5 stars. Please read it at night. If you don't read it at night, it's going to seem very phony if you're reading it in daylight, and it's going to be like, hey, what are they talking about? It's like a little lame or whatever. But if you read it at night, you will probably actually get scared. This particular review was probably very like plus minus, but I just want to keep all of the points forth so that you can make your own decision. Next up is another thriller, a mystery, which Absolute Obsession. Absolute Obsession, because the author is the author of The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. She has written her first adult thriller, adult mystery, and she's done it yet again. She's done it for me yet again. It's Holly Jackson, and the book is Not Quite Dead Yet, which is the story of our main character who is who should die. She faces something and she should die, but she's not dead yet. She's given a date that she'll die in 7 days, and she decides to not waste it, and she decides to find out who it is who wanted to kill her, because it was going to be a murder. So she's like, who was my murderer? That's how she spends the 7 days. Every single thing I love about Holly Jackson was there in this book. Character, you root for her. Emotional story, a little bit of a romance, the family meaning a lot, clues dropped within the book, throughout the book, plot twist that you will not see coming. It's an entire experience that you get. You don't just read it in one night and forget about it like any other thriller, for example. No, it's a story that stays with you, and that's what happened with this book also. Plot twist, I couldn't guess it. It got me. I loved it. My only complaint with the book is that it should have been 50 to 70 pages shorter. I need to mention this because I think that the book got a little repetitive because of some things. For example, our main character, she thinks that she's going to die in 7 days, and so she keeps thinking about it, and I totally get it. Like, obviously she'll keep thinking about it, but I did not want to know, and that's just who I am. So it's probably my issue, but that is what I felt, because I was so done with reading the same thing over and over again. And if this book was simply just 50 pages shorter, it would have been a 6-star read for me. For now, it's a 4.5-star read, which is still very, very high. Do with that what you will. But if you are wondering whether you should read another Holly Jackson book or not, then yes, you should. And also, like, this is an adult thriller, but I can't think of like many graphic scenes that teenagers cannot read, so I'm not gonna recommend it to teenagers, but I'm just letting you know. And with that, we come towards the end of the video. I hope I'm not missing out on any books, and I hope you got at least one book recommendation out of it. If you did, let me know in the comments, because I would love to know what you're going to read next. Let me know if you have any book recommendations for me in the comments, because if you guys watch my videos, you know I take so many recommendations from you guys, whether it's to test the hype, whether it's because you've recommended it to me, whatever it is, put in the comments and I will check it out. I'm always listening to you. I'm always watching you, not in a creepy like you way. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one, and I love you. Bye.